Hey, welcome back. I'm Zach Winters. This is Winter Brothers Stories. And today I have a video with Bear Brodsky on August 17th, 2023. I sat down with Bear, and of course, if you're not in the know, Bear was one of two roommates that Amber Costello had in September of 2010. Amber Costello is obviously one of the Gilgo Four. If you're watching this video, I assume that you're a little familiar with the backstory, especially with everything in the news. She went missing on September 2nd of 2010, and Bear, in our first interview, gave us an account of everything leading up to that date. That was the first time I met him, when we did that interview. Since that time, we've become really good friends. I mean, really good. After Rex Heuermann was arrested for these murders, Bear was obviously struggling. This hasn't been easy on anyone, but he had actually relapsed as well. I guess it's understandable there's a lot of emotions going on there. But he called me, and I dropped everything, and I went there to visit him, and we just sat there. We've kept in touch since then. So we've been tight. But 8 days later, he's looking good. He's looking healthy. He's got his color back, and he reached out again and said that we should do a follow-up. The reason for the follow-up is he's seeing a lot of misinformation out there, mostly from the general public. People don't know whether he was there or not, but the real thing is crazy enough that even some of it is a little off on the bail app, which he'll go into later. But Dave Schaller did an interview with TMZ, and he also reiterates that that was not the first time that, it wasn't back-to-back. It wasn't the first and then the second of September. So we'll get into that in the interview. But if you're not familiar, this is basically Rex Heuermann's accused of the Gilgo Four killings, the elusive serial killer. At this point, he's, innocent until proven guilty. But, I'm pretty sure this is the guy, and screw him. But we're also going to be working on a video for Amber Costello. We want to tell her story, not just the tragic part. We want to tell her whole life story. We want to basically make sure that we keep it in perspective. This is not a movie. This is a real person, and her story, deserves to be told. She should be remembered as the loving, caring woman that she was. All right, she had a adopted child. She had been married. Obviously we know her family, but there's a few people that we've talked to recently that are connected outside of Bear. But if you're watching this and you knew Amber, have pictures of Amber, or think that you have anything that you want to contribute, I'm going to put my email in the description. Just reach out to me. We'd love to hear from you. And then, obviously, anyone I work with, I always say, we'll make sure that whatever we put in there, that you are comfortable with it. So if you accidentally say something that you don't want on there, we'll edit it out. All right, we try to be very fair. And then the final thing is, I don't do this for money at all, so we're going to be donating the proceeds. I haven't figured out exactly where we're going to donate it yet, but if you have any ideas, put that in the comments below. We've donated a little bit to Jessica Taylor, but we want to make sure that we maximize the good. So if you have any charities or something related to the case that you think could help, lawyer bills, whatever it may be, definitely either get in touch with me or comment below. So final note, as always, please like, subscribe. It's the only way that this video gets to be seen by other people. I think this video in particular I'm most proud of because we really go into depth. And I think that Bear really opened up, and he's good at telling the story and telling the truth. All right, so without further ado, please enjoy the video and stay tuned. Thanks. Okay, so today is Thursday, August 17th at 11:09 a.m. Hey, Bear. I know you've been having a lot going on. I really appreciate you sitting down with me here. We're going to make this completely about you, so whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about it. Anything you don't, we don't have to. But I know you wanted to, clear up some of the air with some of the misconceptions people have out there. So I'm going to give you the floor right now.
Okay, so where would you like to start? Just give me.
I would think
an idea
if
of
it's all right with you, I'd like to start at the end, and then we can work our way backwards. So maybe tell us about how you met Rex the first time and how it all went down.
Well, I only met Rex one time, and to the best of my knowledge, either he was one of the people we ripped off, or he was one of the people that Amber gave a red flag for us to get out the house. You have to understand, we're talking 12 years ago. I know that he wanted his money back. That's why I'm a little confused whether he was one of the people that was a part of the scheme, or he was red flagged and we had to get him out the house. Either way, there was an altercation that happened. It wasn't a physical altercation like people think. It wasn't a battle. It was more of Dave, threatening him with a bat, me holding the pit bull and getting this man out of the house. Amber ran either into the back room or she ran into the bathroom. She was shook up. She was scared at the time. Rex, he didn't. It wasn't like a physical battle. It was more of like a screaming match with a bit of threatening involved. We got him out of the house. I was holding the dog, so I was trying not to. The dog was really untrained, and
What type of dog?
it was a pit bull. His name was Mr. Biggs.
Gotcha.
We called him Rubber Nuts for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm sorry,
It's all right.
but yeah. So Dave definitely had a bat in his hand. It was getting this. We were moving him out of this house to get him away from her.
So it started inside the house?
This started inside the house, absolutely.
Where were you when he first came in?
I was either in the back bedroom, because the scam happened. We'd go out the back bedroom window around to the front of the house,
Gotcha.
or we'd be sitting in the car, waiting, watching. I think I was in the back bedroom at the time with Dave,
Got it.
and I'm pretty sure I came around the front of the house. If it was the scam, if it wasn't, either way, we still popped out. There was a few different ways for Amber to give a distress call. We could tell if she was uncomfortable or not.
Could you hear?
Oh yeah,
You were close enough, like earshot.
It was a ranch. It was a flat. It was just
One bedroom, right?
It was a one bedroom connected to a living room and a kitchen. That was it. It was just basically like a 1 bedroom apartment except a house. So the thing with Rex was he was not a very he's a tall guy. He's big. He wasn't small. We got Rex out of the house.
What did he look like when you saw him? Because I remember when we first talked, you didn't recognize him because it was a professional shot, right?
When I saw him on the news, I didn't recognize what he looked like because it was a professional picture of him for his architect company, I guess. But when I saw his mugshot, that's when I recognized him. I said, "Holy shit!" I said, "That's Frankenstein." Me and Dave referred to this man as Frankenstein often. It wasn't all that long of a period of time before that incident and me going to rehab. It wasn't a very long time lapse from my memory.
Yeah.
My memory's pretty solid. But as we got him out the house, he parked not in front of the house. If you were facing the house on America Avenue, he was parked to the right along the white fence where the avalanche was. And I followed him with the dog.
And you remember the car?
I remember the avalanche, yes.
Okay.
I know.
And you said there was brush there, right? There wasn't a house at that point?
I don't know if there was a house at that point, but I know it was overgrown.
Yeah.
But he wasn't parked in the overgrown area. It borderline. There's a white fence.
Mm-hmm.
You have a picture of it in the original video.
Yeah.
So it was overgrown. He was parked along there. I remember this very clearly.
I have a picture today and back then, so I'll put both of them at this point.
Yeah, so he was parked. If you're facing the front door, he was parked next door.
Got it.
In front of in front of that house, with the bed of the pickup would be facing my right if I'm looking at the house.
Got it.
And he got in his car and he left. So he was upset about his money. That was the thing.
So what did he say though? Like, how did it go down when you're holding the dog?
He wanted his money back. And Dave's screaming at him, get the F out the house, get the F out the house. I'm screaming at him, get out the house.
What was he like? Was he shouting?
He wasn't shouting, but he wasn't quiet. You know, it wasn't an insane altercation, but
Intense?
it was an intense, escalated argument.
Was he standing his ground?
He was moving out the house.
Okay.
I think he was more scared of the dog than he was of anything, with good reason.
And
If I would,
how was he different than other ones? Like, because you've done this with other people.
he wasn't much different than other ones.
Okay.
He wasn't. That's why when the cops interviewed me and they asked me, has anybody stood out in my mind? He was one of the few that stood out in my mind. You know, I gave them all the information I could about the incidents that have happened at the house and that did not happen at the house, such as the time at the hotel where we had to break the window to get to Amber. I really wish I knew if he was a part of the scam or not. I can't give 100% an honest answer about that, and I always want to give 100% honesty in these interviews
And I appreciate
with you.
that. I know that that's important.
It's very important to me that only the truth comes out. Amber was scared though.
So regardless of that was the main issue.
The main issue was Amber was scared.
Did she lock herself in a room or a bathroom?
She went. She left the area.
She did.
Amber was very. She's very. What's a good word for timid? Like
skittish.
Skittish. Yeah, very. She does not like altercation.
Okay.
You know, if there's like something going on, she would
avoid it.
She would get away from it unless it involved my safety. Because then Amber, believe it or not, she would come flying like a bat out of hell to protect me.
That. She was protective of you.
Like that one time when Dave was drinking it.
Yeah.
I told you about.
Well, tell the story because you told me. If you're okay with that.
Amber, Dave's a dear friend of mine. I don't want to make Dave seem like a bad person.
No, I don't think so. We all have friends that do stuff. There was one night.
There's one night Dave got liquor drunk and he got pretty aggressive and he was just mad at the world, and it just so happened I was the male in the house, and so he was it was being directed towards me at the time. I didn't take it personally. He was drinking whiskey, and you know he doesn't drink, and it just so happens that one time he was drinking. And Amber did not go into another room. She was there, you know, basically, you know, beating on Dave's chest to like calm down and, you know, leave.
You could tell she cared about you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the deal with Rex, I don't even like calling him Rex. I don't even like using his name. If you ever see any of my posts on any of the groups or anything, I always refer to him as freak, sicko, son of a bitch, bastard, whatever.
Yeah.
His name is not Rex. He's not human. He doesn't deserve a human name. Period. That man does not deserve anything except being called anything but human.
Agreed.
I'm sorry. I have real issues with this man. And as I've said before, this is not just about Amber. Look how many people are being investigated, how many deaths are investigated now because of this person. This dude's been doing this forever and a day.
He took the most precious thing we have.
He's the worst thief of them all. You stole everything. You took life. You took somebody's right to live. You took our right to have them in our lives. You took the right of the world to have them in it. And I've been in prison. I spent 5 years of my life in the New York State Penitentiary system. New York State Department of Corrections. I know where you're headed. And I know what's headed for you up there. You're not going to go to no cushy spot. You're headed to Attica. You're headed to Southport. You're headed to Comstock. And you're not going anywhere but to population. And I can't wait till you get there, buddy. Look into my eyes, man. I know you'll never be able to see this video, but I promise you, man, you're going to get what's coming to you. And you ain't going to get no sympathy from anybody. Because you gave no sympathy for anybody but yourself and your own sick desires. You fucking bastard.
He deserves all that.
Deserves all that and a bag of chips.
Yeah, he will. He'll get his.
He'll get his, man. Karma's
already
real,
been in
man.
works for a while.
Karma's real, man. You gotta be a good person in this world. You gotta be honest. You gotta be caring. You gotta be loving. You gotta be giving. But you also have to be self-protective. I always tell the truth with you, Zach, and I always tell the truth with the public. The reason why I haven't spoken to any reporters is because I don't like how they have always disrespected the names of the women that lost their lives. Every time they say a name, sex workers automatically right behind the name. I don't appreciate that. Neither does the family, and neither does anybody that's ever loved or known these people.
Well, we obviously get a lot of calls, just generally speaking, for you, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like they've disrespected you too.
they keep.
I don't let anyone say anything like that. I always defend you because I think you're a very sincere person. I don't think it's the way people, some of these people are. Would you want to address it at least? Because I think it should be addressed.
Look, you've been very protective of me, Zach, and I look at you as a dear friend of mine at this point. You know,
I feel the same way.
me and you have become very close, and you know, I think everything happens for a reason. You know, I'm sorry I'm looking in this condition, everybody. I'd like to address this real quick. I relapsed, and I relapsed very badly. I have 8 days clean today. I just got through this detox. Thank you.
Proud of you, man.
I appreciate it.
I'm real proud of you.
I appreciate it, man, because I was heading into the grave, and I knew that, and I have responsibilities I need to take care of, and it's not fair that, you know, I selfishly am just killing myself. So I decided to come to a
There's a lot
detox.
going on. I don't think anyone would fault you for that, but you need to do it for Amber. You need to do it for yourself.
Yeah,
for
need to do
your
it.
family.
Exactly. You know, all my friends, they're all in the dirt.
And
Unfortunately,
they want you to do well too.
yeah, and somebody has to be around to be able to tell the story of my fallen comrades
Yeah.
and my fallen loved ones. If I'm not here to tell about them, then their stories are going to be lost because there's really no one left.
And you're strong. You're a strong guy.
I am a strong guy, but I'm also hypersensitive. I'm I'm an emotional person. I tend to feel other people's pain and suffering, you know,
Empathy.
at a very high level, maybe to a fault. I'm very selfless, and that's been a problem of mine for many years. And this also seems to have been a problem of Amber's for many years also.
You had that in common.
We had a lot in common. That was one thing about Amber. She was extremely selfless. She would do anything for anybody.
Can you share a little bit about that? Like, I know we're going to be doing a video, but is there anything you can add to that?
You know, I didn't know Amber for all that long. I knew her for some months. I met her in St. Charles as we discussed in the first video, and Amber was a remarkable human being. She was one of those people you could just look in their eyes and you could see the compassion she had for the world. She loved life. She didn't want to leave this earth, man. She wanted to be here. I watched Kim do an interview or something in the back of a car saying that she forgave that son of a bitch. I don't forgive him. She said that she knows that Amber forgives him. I know for a fact Amber does not forgive him because Amber wanted to be here. Amber had a right to be here.
Yes, she did.
She had a lot to offer this world. She wasn't just a goddamn sex worker. She did that for a brief time in her life to support whatever monster of a habit that she needed to support, man. She was my friend. And I will not tolerate any disrespect of my friend or any other victims of that man.
She would have had her chance to live her life. Maybe
She
have
would
kids,
have had a chance.
You know, get married, all that stuff.
She would have done great things in this world. There's no doubt in my mind.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry. I get. It's a hard topic for me. It really is. You know, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for how I look, everybody. You know,
Don't apologize.
I'm trying to get well here.
You're doing well. You're doing good. Did she talk about her son?
Who?
Amber. Didn't she have a son down south? An adopted child?
She did. She spoke about her marriage, and she did very well. She was involved with the church down there when she was in Carolina. She was sober for quite a long period. I can't say how long, but she had a a good run of very good.
She looked very healthy in those Christmas pictures.
Exactly. If you saw a picture of her, she was holding like a bouquet of flowers.
Yep.
She was in like a white dress. I think it might have been her wedding day.
Okay.
Do you see the light in her eyes?
I saw the Christmas pictures, and she was gorgeous. She looked very healthy.
She was healthy, man. She was healthy. She was happy. She was smiling. She had a lot to contribute to this to everybody, man. You know, anybody that ever met her will tell you she was nothing but a pleasure. Just an absolute delight to be around. You know, and it's a blessing that I'm fortunate enough to have known her. But I also feel that I may have had responsibility in what have happened, because maybe by ripping this man off and not giving him his money back, he wanted revenge. I
can promise you that's not the case, though.
But you can't guarantee that. Neither can I.
His wife was away. That's his type. Every last one of them were tiny.
No,
you know?
She absolutely
he was
fit
trolling.
She fit his profile 100%. Amber stood, I think, 4'11".
Yeah.
She was 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the rest of those women. And
the fact that the wife was away, it says it right in the bail docs, to me seals the deal. This is not your fault. I get that it could be very tough.
I'm not going to sit here and say it was directly my fault. I just hope I didn't contribute. You understand what I mean? Because it'd be. I know I said this in the first video. I pleaded with them. This was Kim's idea. Since she
had a lot of control over her.
For years, this has been going on for years, man. This was going on when she was a teenager. This has been going on. And this was not Amber's idea. I don't care, Kim. I don't care what you think about me. I'm telling the truth. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and lie to protect you, Kim. You were wrong. You were wrong the whole time. I'm not going to cover for you. It's not going to happen. Find someone else. Find some other sucker. You were wrong. I'm not going to blame you for her death, but you could have been a better sister to her. And I wish you were. I'm not going to put blood on your hands. You did not kill her. But you should have protected her better. I should have protected her better. We all should have.
But there was a lot going on there.
There was a lot going on at the time.
And that's what people don't really understand with addiction. That you do stuff you wouldn't normally do.
Listen, it was a very fun environment to begin with.
It was exciting.
It was exciting. It was fun. We were having fun. You know,
You were young too. How old were you guys? It was a while ago.
Jesus, I just turned 39 on the 29th of July.
It's like 25.
25. She was 1 year older than me. She was born in 83. I was born in 84. We were having fun, man. We were running around to the city, you know. We were doing things, you know. It wasn't just like we were sitting in a candlelit room shooting heroin. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that.
What would you do? Like, let's say you're fine now. You're not sick. What would you guys go do?
Oh, we'd go hang out, man. You know, me, her, and Dave. We'd go to the movies. We'd go to the city. We'd go to Tompkins Square Park a bunch. I introduced her to a bunch of my friends. You know, unfortunately, they're all no longer with us.
No, that's been very tough for you, man.
It has. I've lost my immediate inner group of friends with my closest of friends within a 6-month period, and it's what relapsed me.
It hasn't been easy. They want you to do well.
Look, I'm a part of the New York hardcore scene. I love shows. I love being straight edge. For those who don't know what straight edge is, it's a lifestyle of sobriety, perseverance, hard working, and helping the next man, helping the next person better their lives. So it's a network of support. After after everybody passed away from these drugs, and from my other friend Grim, who was murdered by the NYPD, murdered, left in a cell to die, went into a coma and never woke up, was never given medical help, and they did this for a reason. I don't care. What can you
There's no
bastards?
reason.
What can you bastards take from me besides my freedom? I've done no crimes. I don't commit crimes anymore. Even when I get high, I don't commit crimes. I still work hard, and I just hand my money over to a drug dealer when I use. But that's not happening anymore. Those days are behind me. Once again,
Yep.
you know,
And you got a support system.
I do have a support system, and you've been a real good support to me. I can't thank you
Always,
enough, man. You know, you've been clutch, bro.
You're like a brother, man. I'm glad you reached out.
I'm very glad that, you know, look, I'm in a hospital right now. You're here sitting in a hospital room with me right now, hanging out. I feel obligated to always speak if I'm asked to speak about Amber, because she doesn't have a voice. She needs voices. I loved her dearly. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Just one sec.
Take your time. Want me to cut it?
No, don't cut it. You're fine.
I don't want you to feel any pressure.
No, I don't feel any pressure at all. I have a reoccurring thought. You know, I pray. You know, I don't believe in any, like, you know, just one God, just higher powers, just spirituality, just like, you know,
something bigger.
The good ways of the good on this earth, that she wasn't tortured or anything like that. God, just please have let him just snapped her neck and just let it be done with. The thought of her being held against her will and being tortured is something I saw his Google search and what this man was into.
This man will get his
This son of a bitch,
demon.
Bro. What he was into, I really hope did not have.
I know it's hard, but you can't focus on that part.
Listen.
She's not in pain right now.
I just hope it was fast. I hope it was quick. It's all I pray. You know? Because she didn't deserve to die, but she most certainly did not deserve to die slowly.
If there was an issue, why do you think she got back in the car with him the next night or whenever it was?
I cannot. The only way I could possibly think of, because I've done pretty stupid things myself.
Sure.
Not on that level, but I've done some pretty
But she was scared of him.
She was scared of him, and the only way I could think that she would possibly get in the car with him is three things.
Okay.
She was dope sick.
Okay.
Badly. And
he offered a lot of money.
And she was offered a lot of money. Maybe he apologized, this, that, whatever. 2, she never saw the avalanche. She never came outside. You have to understand, it was only me and Dave that got him out the house.
Sure.
So maybe she didn't know what car she was walking up to.
That's what I thought.
He's a big man.
Yeah.
He very easily could have grabbed her by the arm and yanked her in that car and slammed that pedal, and she's gone. Or he could have took one of those 300 guns, pointed at her, and she had never a chance. And she didn't have a chance. Those are the only 3 reasons I could think she could possibly have gotten in that car.
Yeah.
Why she left her cell phone behind, I can't answer that question.
That could have been a million reasons.
She wouldn't go to the bed.
She had minutes, though.
She had minutes. She left me with. I had.
She came by right before all this.
She came to rehab to drop my backpack off with all my clothes. She pleaded with me not to go to rehab. She said we can make the money. We'll get the lawyer. We'll fight this from the street. I didn't want to take the chance. I was already a convicted felon. If I would have got convicted with this charge with heroin with intent to distribute, I could have gotten 10 years.
Yeah. They take that very seriously in New York.
Very seriously in New York.
But you weren't, right?
No, this was.
I mean, I know that, but just
this was. I went to go pick up drugs for the household.
Yeah.
It was my money, Amber's money, and Dave's money. I went to Manhattan just to go pick up to bring back to the house, so we had
for your little community,
for our own personal
family,
use. But the police saw the amount I had on me, and they arrested me with intentions of distribution, which is a B felony.
Which is a big deal. That's a long time.
It's right under
Was
A.
that like 10 to 15, something like that?
It's A's 20 to life, so B's 15 to 20.
Yeah.
10 to 1, 10 to 20. You know.
So she bailed you out.
She bailed me out on $5,000,
which we've discussed.
Yes, we went through
nauseam,
that.
But
and that guy had nothing to do with it.
Agreed. We've taken that video down.
Yeah. So and I apologize to that man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I had to go down every avenue I possibly. I had to look. It made sense at the time.
It did, but we didn't have all that info.
No, we didn't, and I apologize to that man for
I've messaged him as well
for thinking along those lines. I apologize.
So she met you at the rehab, though, right? That's what happens next.
I met her. Well, what do you mean? What happens next?
So she bails you out.
No.
So
okay. I thought you meant when I first met her. I'm sorry.
No.
She bails me out of Rikers. So I'm in Rikers Island. I get called to court, 100 Center Street in Manhattan.
Okay.
I think it's just a regular court appearance, which it was. It was a regular court date. I was told to hand over my ID. Usually that's a bad thing.
Because they don't want you to run with it.
No. Like they'll call you. They'll be like, Brodsky, give me your ID. But usually they don't take your ID from you. I've never been bailed out of. This is my first time on Rikers Island.
So you're locked in Rikers. Gotcha. They're asking for your ID.
No. I'm on 100 Center Street right now in court.
Okay.
I'm in the bullpens.
Okay, I got it.
They asked for my ID, and I gave them my ID. They told me to step out, and they told me I was bailed out, and I was baffled. I couldn't get a hold of anybody because of the.
So you didn't speak to anyone.
No.
You didn't know if anyone knew who you were.
No. Well,
right?
Exactly. I was kidnapped.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
You went to the city, and as far as they were concerned, you disappeared.
Yeah, I never came back.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Amber apparently, did her homework,
made calls.
I didn't show up when I was supposed to show up, and she was on it, man.
It really shows what type of person she is. A lot of people wouldn't do that.
This is what I'm saying about her.
Yeah.
She wasted no time. There was no time lapse between me. I was supposed to be on a train back at Babylon, and she was waiting at a car with Dave.
Yeah.
And I didn't get off the train.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a problem. She found the problem.
That means that, like drugs take up a lot of your time, so you're not sick. That means even despite that, she took time to make sure that where's my friend? Where is Bear?
And she
found you.
And she
That must have been a lot of calls.
She spent a lot of calls, spent a lot of time, and I guarantee she took money out of her own use
to do this.
To get me out.
That's what I'm saying. It's a very selfless thing for someone that's in the throes of addiction.
And she did this in 3 days.
Wow.
She came up with $5,000 in 3 days.
Which is a lot for anyone.
Which is a lot for anybody. And she even got somebody to co-sign this.
Yeah.
Because the $5,000 wasn't even enough. My bail was higher than that. That was just the percentage. You understand what I'm saying?
Got it.
It was $5,000 cash plus a co-sign.
Got it.
That's where
that was responsible.
That's where the man came in.
That's where he came in.
That's when we were looking for who co-signed for me that day with the bail bonds.
Yep.
So it wasn't just the $5,000 cash. She also convinced somebody to put their house up for me or whatever it was, or their car title.
That's wild.
You understand what it's wild and it's selfless, and it's loving.
Yeah.
The last thing I was saying about Amber, she wasn't a sex worker for a very long time. This was not what she did for years on end. From my understanding, these were brief periods of time, that would go on for short periods of time, and mostly involving Kim. You understand? Amber did not come up with this idea in the car. It was Kim that brought this to me and Dave's ears about how her and Amber were able to make money. I want to clear that up. Amber had no problem getting up and going to work if she had a job. You understand what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
was a go-getter. She wasn't a she was a human being, man.
Yeah. So
All of them were.
Kim had been
all of
doing
them.
this prior to.
Kim is significantly older than her.
Yeah, how old? Much older. Like 9 years, 7 years.
Something like that. Significantly. And from my understanding, Kim was making really good money in Carolina doing this, while Amber was home.
And she's the younger sister. She looks up to her older sister.
And she's also taking care of Kim's kid.
Got it. Okay, I didn't know that.
Along with the parents. You could talk to Melissa, who I just spoke to
Yeah.
today, and she'll be able to fill in. You can edit that. Just whatever.
Yeah, I'll edit that part just because we want to make sure she's okay with that.
Yeah, just you'll be able to speak to other people, and they'll be able to fill in gaps of time that I'm not able to fill in. Remember,
We're gonna do that memorial video, so
Yeah.
just I know I'm not on camera, but we're working with quite a few people to bring a nice video about her life, so that people can know her better.
I think that's extremely important because people tend to only listen to the bad.
Yeah, and it gets sensationalized, like people
does.
like to play up that type of stuff.
It does.
It's not a movie. These are real people with real lives.
It's not a movie. It's reality, and it has affected a lot of people. This monster, man. I always say this every time. This is not just about Amber. There's a lot of people that have fallen to the hands of this demon, man. I'm not able to comprehend what would drive somebody to do this to people. I see somebody in need. All I want to do is help them, as does most of the world. How could you want to just end somebody instead of helping them become better? I'll never understand it, and you know what? I don't want to understand it either.
Have you thought about him since?
I think about him every day of my life.
I mean, since he was arrested, but before that?
Never once.
Never once.
No,
that's fine.
Other than the day I told the police about the incident at the house, I never thought about him again. It never occurred to me that he was him.
Because it was just another
It
incident.
never occurred to me. I thought that she got a call. She never knew the person before, and she got in the car with him. I would have put my life on it that he was not ever in the house before.
Well, when I heard what happened, and I think maybe other people share this, it's a little surprising that there'd be an incident, and then shortly after you would go back.
That's exactly.
So that's what
my
made me think that maybe she didn't know it was him the second time.
That's why I brought up the three scenarios in my mind that could possibly have made her gotten into that car.
All right, so how long was it after everything went down that the cops met with you to give that tip?
It wasn't exactly like I gave a tip. I just gave a
Statement.
I gave an account of. They asked me a series of questions. Was there any incidents at the house that stuck out in my mind? I don't know what they asked Dave, but I'm sure it was along the same line of questioning. From my memory, it was missing persons police. It was the missing persons police.
Was this before she was found?
No, it was after she was found.
After.
It was after.
Okay.
It was after she was found.
Were you in lockup?
No, it was at my dad's house.
So you were done with your lockup?
Yeah, I finished rehab and the case went away.
Okay, got it.
I finished rehab and then I just had to check in.
Like a parole officer or a probation officer?
Yeah, it wasn't probation. It was a drug court.
Okay, got it.
So once I finished the program, it was basically over with. It was done. It was over
you
with.
did what you had to do.
Disorderly conduct. The judge knew I wasn't selling drugs.
Yeah.
I have track marks all over me. I have no money in my pocket.
They wanted you to get clean, and you did what you had to do.
He wanted me to get clean. He didn't want to send me up north.
That's great.
He didn't want to send me upstate.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You
you're
didn't
not.
have a record besides that, basically, right?
I had one prior felony, which was for a fight.
Okay.
You know, when I was 19 years old, I got into a fight.
But it
and-
was generally a clean record. Basically.
yeah, it was, you know, dumb kid stuff, breaking into pools.
Yeah.
You know, Nassau County. You know, great.
Because
Great.
they wouldn't give you that type of court if you had like this.
Oh
extensive record.
no! If I had an extensive record, I would have went right up north. There would have been no chance for any type of treatment intervention. But
So you're talking to the cops at your dad's house. Did they do any type of lie detector? Did they ever give you the indication that maybe they knew who it was, or maybe they thought you were involved?
No, well, they knew I wasn't involved because I was in rehab during the time of her disappearance.
So they told you that.
Oh yeah, they knew everything that was going on in the household to begin with. They already told me what was going on. They knew that.
Did they tell you how they knew that?
No, they're not going to disclose.
Fair enough.
Anything, you know, but they were asking me a series of questions if anybody stood out in my mind, if any incidents happened in the house that became maybe physical, or anything that stuck.
That was the parameters. Was it physical?
Exactly. Did it get physical, or was there any time she was scared or anybody act up? There was more than one person in this house that we had to get out of the house.
Sure.
So there was quite a few different quite a few different statements I had to give the police because I wanted this man caught.
Yeah.
Killed my friend.
Yeah, of course.
Killed other people. He's a murderer walking around.
Did they ever come back? Or is it just the once?
That was the one time I've ever spoken to the police. They never spoke to me again. I told them about what happened with that guy. I did not know his name. We referred to him as Frankenstein.
Where did Org come from? Or Ogre?
Probably Dave.
Dave, okay.
Probably Dave. You know?
Do you think they talked to Dave again?
I think that I'm sure they did because Dave was there when she went. He was
the last one there.
He was the last one there.
You think they ever suspected him?
No.
I didn't think so either.
I really don't. But then again, you know, everybody's a suspect until you're ruled out.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
But the thing is,
he obviously had nothing to do with it. Just to be clear, I'm just curious when it went down.
Absolutely not. But Dave couldn't have been a suspect because there's other people. There was other bodies. It's
correct.
Not.
That makes sense.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not just like Amber went missing and where's Amber?
Got it.
No, Amber was found with others.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were suspects or anything. They wanted to rack our brain of anything that stood out that could possibly help find this person. And just thankfully Dave has a good memory and remembered the incident with Frankenstein. And I was able to remember that incident of
fill in the blanks a little bit.
Of fill in a couple of blanks. I'm sure Dave had better information than I had, but I definitely 100% gave them that story of that motherfucker.
All right, so look, Amber comes visits you while you're away, right? This is after the first incident with Rex, correct? We have that right? You were in detox or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. The incident with Rex happened before I went to detox. It was before I was arrested, or immediately after I was arrested. Because maybe I spent like one night at the house before I went to detox.
Sure.
Which probably was the case.
So this is what I gotta ask. It's a little weird because the court documents make it back to back.
They're wrong.
Okay.
They're
tell
wrong.
me about that.
Their timeline is wrong. They said that we ran him out the house and she got into the car the next day.
The next night.
It's impossible.
Okay.
Because I was there.
Okay.
I was not there the night before and the night after and the day she left.
So how long do you think it was till you went to that rehab?
Maybe a week.
Okay.
It was
it wasn't back to back, but it was a short period.
It was a short period of time.
Got it.
But they listen. The DA, this district attorney, this chief of police, Suffolk County. You guys did an amazing job.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for the dedication and finding this
The follow-up.
the follow up. You know, after Burke and Spoda was gone, and the new administration came in, you guys got the job done.
Yeah.
And I am forever grateful for the Suffolk County Police Department, the New York State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Thank you guys for catching this son of a bitch and making this world safer, and giving these girls justice, and the others justice too. Thank you. You know, it's important to me that you guys recognize that I recognize the work and effort that the police.
It's been a big difference, and I've been very supportive. I told you when
Huge.
Rodney Harrison came in.
Night and day.
Yeah.
Absolutely night and day. He gave his word and he kept it.
He followed through.
And that's big to me.
I mean, look at all the people that got their names back recently too.
Yes.
Jane Doe's.
Exactly. That's a big thing to me. You know, I
mean, there's a community, and I think you've met a lot of people, right, because of this.
I have, but I've also I've tried to separate myself a little bit because I don't. The press has always called me and Dave a pimps, you know, promoting prostitution. This is not how it went down.
You couldn't stop her if you wanted to.
I
tried.
I tried. Dave tried. We both tried.
So what are you going to do?
The only person that didn't try was Kim.
Who probably would have had the most profound effect because it's her older sister. Right? Is that what you're saying? I don't want to put words in your
even
mouth.
if she didn't have the effect, at least try.
Sure.
You know, because when I called the house from rehab, this was Amber came and dropped off my clothes with Dave, and Amber drove to the rehab I was in Queens, dropped off my clothes, and Amber asked me to come with them and not stay. I told her I was going to go to prison if I left with them, and then I really wasn't going to be around. I'll see you in 28 days. What's the problem?
Yeah.
You know? And I was trying to encourage her to go back to rehab too, get clean, and let's all do this right, you know?
Yeah.
Because we're really close, you know?
Of course.
And I'm pretty sure it was not the day of my admission into that rehab. It was the following day. I said it might have been day 3, which somebody brought to my attention on a Facebook group. I think I was wrong with that timeline. It was not day 3. It was the day after my admittance.
Got it.
That she was not picking up her phone, and that's when I called Dave to find out she went on the out call.
So, just expand on that a little bit because I wanted to ask you. So you're calling her. Does she normally pick up?
Always. She would always be. I didn't want to take her money. She threw a $50 bill on the ground and walked away from it.
And that was for
the telephone.
Got it.
For the payphone.
Yeah.
I had money in my pocket, but this is just Amber. You understand?
She wanted to make sure you were taking care of.
She wanted to make sure I had whatever I needed to have.
Yeah.
And I had money. I did need her money, but she threw it on the ground. She said, "Let the wind take it." She's not picking it back up. I didn't have a choice.
Stubborn.
Yo, 4 foot.
Stubborn in a good way.
4'11" of stubborn lovingness. You know.
Yeah.
I had to. So I picked up the $50 bill and I used it to what she asked me to use it for. I made a phone call, and it went right to voicemail. It was a prepaid phone. She had minutes.
Did that give you like red flags that they went to voicemail?
Not immediately. Maybe she
she's sleeping.
Anything.
Sure, but you weren't concerned when the first time.
Not the first time. The second time I called, it was a little weird. Because now I'm
later.
It's a little later, a couple hours later by, but now you got to understand I'm in rehab. We're at a time schedule of meetings, groups, food, meetings, groups, recreation, phone time.
Got it.
You get your phone call, and your phone call's done.
That time's important.
That time's important. You get your click on your phone. I'm sorry to say click. I'm like I'm in prison. You get your time on your click.
No worries.
I'm terrible. I'm the worst. I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
I don't think anyone would have caught that.
I'm sorry. Somebody would if I could.
Maybe one person.
Slot time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get your slot time. I had to explain to a counselor that I was having an issue. My friend was not picking up the phone. and I knew there was a problem. I don't remember my counselor's name. I really don't remember who it was,
It
but
was a long time ago.
it was, and they gave me more. They actually let me not use the payphone anymore, and use the
Office line?
office line to talk to Dave. Is she
Hmm.
back yet? Is she back yet? Is she back yet?
Now, what was Dave saying when you talked to him?
Dave said that she said that she was on the phone with this person for an extensive period of time throughout the whole day.
Texting or on the phone talking?
Talking.
Okay. Well, did he give you any sense of what the conversation was like?
Money.
Okay.
If Dave knew that it was him, it would never have happened.
Got it. So is that maybe further indication that maybe she didn't even know?
I don't. There's no way to know. There's no way to know, but in my heart of hearts, she was scared of him. That son of a bitch scared her. He scared her. Regardless whether it's a scam or not, she was creeped out by him. Badly. You know, she was. You could feel somebody's intentions. You know.
Sure.
You could get vibes. You know, we all have.
Especially if you have that type of empathy, which it sounds like she did. She
did.
Felt stuff deeply.
She did, and she knew bad intentions when she felt it. You know, she would not have went with him.
So you think the whole thing was money, though, when she was talking?
Absolutely, it was all about
negotiating.
Money. It was all about money, and from my understanding,
wouldn't the $1,500 be a red flag? Or you think the need for money overrode it?
I think the dope sickness overrode any type of
like logical exploration. I could see that 100%.
Of being self-protective, because I've been sick enough where
you're not thinking right.
I'm not thinking right.
Yeah.
You know, where I will put my freedom or my life in danger to get myself.
Where never in a million years you would have done it normally. Yeah.
Listen, I went to prison for armed robbery. I never would have.
Yeah,
I never would have. I didn't commit this armed robbery the way it sounds, but I never would have even been in that situation if I was not addicted to heroin at the time.
Yeah.
You do things.
It's a very powerful thing. It rewires you.
Being dope sick is not a game.
Yeah.
You know, people say you can't die from it.
You feel like you're dying.
You will bet everything you know that you are dying. And you're trying to save your life at this point. You're
and
sick.
There's head games about it too.
You're going crazy. So she's going to do anything she can to get out of the situation.
Satisfy it.
To get unsick. So if you're that dope sick and you're vomiting that violently, you'll do all you could do to get yourself to get out of that sickness.
Got it.
You know, plus the anxiety. You're going through all kinds of anguish. It's a very powerful drug. And it's ultimately what caused her demise.
Did Dave give any insight when you were talking to him what he thought was going on? Was he worried?
Dave became worried.
But
yeah.
Not at first, maybe? Like he wasn't sure?
Well, she was going on this out call regardless.
Which was unusual, right?
It never happened.
But it was because of the money.
It was because of the money. You know, I wasn't there. But I'm very sure that Dave told her he did not want her going out on this out call. But apparently she felt safe enough to go, and she felt safe enough to leave her phone behind. Will I ever understand it? No, I won't. But I know for a fact that if she saw that person's face, that monster, she would not have gotten in that car.
Did the car have tints?
I don't know, because I only escorted him to the back.
Quick.
It was to the back.
Got it.
Dave was more with the bat. I'm holding back a pit bull that's trying to get loose.
I get it, yeah.
You know what I mean? This
Do you think the neighbors saw
that incident?
Or any of the incidents?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, they knew what was going on.
The neighbors across the street, Oh, yo, without a doubt.
But not this particular one.
No, this one. It wasn't. It wasn't.
It was nighttime.
Oh yeah, it was evening, night. It was. I don't. It was dark. It was darkish. I'd say, getting towards the night or night. It wasn't. I don't think it was. I don't. It's, you gotta understand. You're talking 12 years ago,
No, I understand.
but it
Yeah.
was. It was definitely towards the evening. It wasn't a daytime thing.
Not a daytime thing. Did you have many daytime customers?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. It was regularly.
Gotcha.
Regularly. There'd be. You would have more daytime customers than nighttime customers a lot of times. Yeah,
That's not what I would expect.
So you wouldn't expect it either, right?
Yeah, that's not what I would expect.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
But this is how the money came for Amber. For her,
Get floating. I got you.
For
yeah.
that's just how her so she was able to get through the next day or whatever. This is how she was. It was just. It was a sad scene all around. It was bizarre.
So walk me through the end of this little section here with Dave. Like, at what point did you really know it was a serious issue, and what happened next?
I knew it was a serious issue when the man wanted his money back.
Well, I mean, when you're calling Dave in the rehab.
Oh, you talk about the rehab. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
No,
got
that's my
confused.
fault. No worries.
When she did not come back that night, and it was the next morning, and her phone was still off, and Dave didn't hear from her, I knew she was in trouble. I knew she was either being held against her will, she was arrested, or dead.
Got it.
Knew it.
Okay.
I knew it. And I told Dave, and Dave knew it too. And we told Kim, you have to go file a missing persons report.
Because she's the family.
It's your sister.
Yeah.
I'm in rehab.
Of course.
Dave, this is your responsibility right now. This is your sister.
Yeah.
Go to the precinct. Go file a missing persons report.
I mean, as close as you guys were, you've known her for less than a year at this point, and this is her sister. So you told her sister to do it. Right? That would make sense.
Yeah,
you're in rehab.
I'm in rehab. I can't do it. I can't leave.
It would mean more coming from Kim than anyone else.
It didn't matter who it came from, but it's ultimately Kim. Go report your sister.
Yes.
You could give the most information about her.
So did you talk to Kim or Dave did?
I spoke to Kim. Dave spoke to Kim. Everybody spoke to Kim.
And what did she say?
She did. She said she's filed a missing persons report.
And was she convincing? Did you believe her?
Yeah, I believed her. Why wouldn't I believe her? No. I'm not getting. I'm not getting upset with you. I'm getting upset with Kim.
Yeah.
Of course, I would believe her because why wouldn't you file a missing persons report?
Yeah, because it's weird. Why wouldn't you?
It's your sister, for God's sakes.
Because she now says that she thought she was off getting high.
Listen, she said she was either off getting high, she was partying, or she just left the state.
But she never really did that before. Like, it didn't make sense, right? Now you're looking back at it.
It didn't make sense because Amber would never, in a million years, just get up and just leave without telling me.
Yeah.
Or Dave.
Leaving all her stuff.
Or leaving all her stuff behind, her phone, her wallet. Apparently her wallet was still there.
Oh, yeah.
Her mother's picture was in the wallet. I've talked about this in the past. It would not have happened. I knew she was in trouble, man. I knew it. But listen, my hands were tied. I'm in the middle of a legal battle.
Yeah.
That could send me away potentially for a decade.
Well, you thought you handled it because you talked to Kim. That makes sense.
I thought it was handled.
Yeah.
But we still have Amber missing.
So
we still have Amber missing, man.
So what happens next? You tell Kim that. She tells you she's made the thing.
She's made the police report. But Kim was
did you call Kim occasionally? Like, hey, have you heard anything?
It was mostly through Dave. But I also called Kim up too, and Kim was like, "Listen, she's probably down south. She probably went back to Florida. She does this. This is a regular thing that Amber would do."
Which she would do, okay.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
And you knew that.
I knew this.
Yeah.
I knew this. But there's.
And is that you think where a lot of the anger you have comes from?
The anger that I have comes from. Why didn't you just go file the missing persons report? Well, people's memories are still fresh, as I said before in our first interview. The longer the time lapse, more information, more evidence.
That first 24 hours, they say, is the most important.
It's critical.
Yeah.
We could have had an Amber Alert. No, pun intended.
Yeah.
Literally. You know what I'm saying? We had somebody that just disappeared.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Bro. Come on, man.
Yeah. You did what you have to do, though. You know, you thought you did what you had to do.
I did all I could,
You
man.
did.
But now I look back at it, I could have done more. I should have just drawn that hard line. I should have just not have let it happen.
You know just as well as I do that you can't force someone, especially in that situation. You tried.
Listen, man.
You wanted to protect your friend.
I wanted to protect all of us.
You guys were all close, weren't you?
Yeah, we were all close. I wasn't a fan of Kim. I never was a fan of Kim. Look, I was very close with Dave. I look at Dave like he was like a brother to me. Amber was a dear friend to me. I cared about her very much. Loved her dearly,
Yeah.
Not in love, but loved her dearly. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? She was very attached to me. She had severe abandonment issues. She was very scared of being left. And that's understandable. We've all been through trauma. I'm scared of being
Was
left.
she like very like cuddly and stuff like that?
She was. If I'm sitting on the recliner,
Right there. Got it. Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how I picture. She's very affectionate,
Yeah,
very caring
affectionate.
and loving.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
not like trying to get into it. Not trying to get sexual with me or nothing.
yeah.
But just
Very caring.
very caring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You come running across the yard, flying through the air, spider monkey hug. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
the type of person she was, man.
What else was she into?
She liked country music, man. She was a Southerner, man. She was not a New Yorker.
She had an accent?
Yeah, she had an accent. She was not a New Yorker. She wasn't. And that was another thing. I spent a lot of my life then in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. I didn't notice that, yeah.
Volunteer state. I spent a lot of years of my life in Tennessee.
So you had that little connection with her, too.
Yeah, I was raised half my life outside of Knoxville in a place called Jefferson City, better known as Jeff City for us that were that are from that area, right outside the Clinch Mountain, which is outside the smoke, which is basically part of the Smokies.
The mountains, yeah.
Yeah, right outside Knoxville.
And she was North Carolina?
She was North Carolina, so we had this Southern connection.
Yeah.
Her Southern drawl was music to my ears. It was welcoming for me.
It brought back memories?
Not even like brought back memories. It was a comfort because I don't hate New York. I don't love New York. I love New York, but I'm not a fan. I'd rather be in the South.
Got it.
Where people actually will help you if you're in need.
A little friendlier.
Yeah, if you have a blowout on the highway, somebody's going to stop and see if you need help changing your tire.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
New York, that can never happen.
That's never going to happen on the LIE.
Yeah.
You're going to sit there.
People are going to be afraid to even walk up to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm originally from the South too, so I get it.
See, you know what I mean? So, we help the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Then, and it was a comfort for me being around her. It was a comfort, And yeah, she was.
What did she wear? I think there's not a lot of pictures, so it's hard to like in your head what she looked like day to day.
She'd wear Daisy. She'd wear cut off jeans. Daisy Dukes. She'd usually be in a cut off T-shirt. Southern style girl.
Yeah.
Like from people that have money problems in the South. There's a difference between New York City poverty and Southern poverty.
Sure.
A big difference. She's poor. She came from a very poor home.
Yeah.
You gotta understand.
They moved a little bit, right?
I think she's from Wilmington originally.
So I saw that she was in Pennsylvania when she was born, ended up in North Carolina. Ultimately Florida.
Oh yeah, I know she ended up from Florida to New York.
And that's where she got married? Florida?
I don't know if she was married in Florida or Carolina.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Did she talk about him?
Her ex? A little bit. Sound like a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Sounded like an okay person. Ultimately, I think drugs ruined that relationship.
Gotcha. He was sober.
From what I understand, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Start off, but you have to ask me a question. I don't know where we left off.
Okay. So, with Amber, I know you tried to talk her out of it. Did she ever eventually come back to you and complain about it, or have issues with it, or struggle with it?
She was struggling with it, but it wasn't that. It was. Look, I'm not trying to put everything on Kim. I'm not, but I have to put this on Kim. Look, there's responsibilities that have to be accepted, and you have to take responsibility for your actions. I don't care. I take responsibility for my actions. I did something wrong. I owe up to my shit. Amber was not comfortable selling her fucking body. And the reason why I came up with that scam, when I walked out that room naked that one day and that guy came running out the house, we thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And that idea dawned on me. She doesn't have to sell herself anymore and cause more trauma.
You were trying to protect her.
I was trying to protect her, but I was also trying to protect her from adding more trauma into her heart, into her mind, and into her body.
Yeah.
You know,
you're seeing it and you want to help.
Yeah, look, the money's coming.
Yeah.
Either she's going to do it, or we could just rip these people off and get the money anyway.
Yeah.
I'd rather my friend not sell her vagina.
Yeah.
Not sell and degrade her body, and these men get ripped off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
It's what it is.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
That's how I took the situation that you were trying to look out for her.
Look, it was wrong. I'm not justifying it. It was wrong. The scam was wrong. It was all wrong. But I was trying to protect my friend, man.
Yeah.
It was just about protecting her.
I think anyone could see that. It might not have been like a clear, overall picture, but the intention is what matters. You were coming from a good place.
The intention was for her not to have to be traumatized anymore. Maybe not catch a disease.
This is not something you've been around before, right? I've never been around that.
Well, not. I've known women that have escorted before from Manhattan and the Lower East Side, but I've never been around it.
Yeah.
I've never seen
firsthand.
So I've never seen it. They've always just go off their own way, and I'd see them a couple days later, whatever.
It's like culture shock.
Yeah, exactly. This is not something that I'm used to. I'm used to seeing drugs copping short. You know what I mean?
But that has its own little culture.
Exactly.
Which could shock someone else.
Exactly. A different type of hustle.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this. Of course, everybody knows about that type of work, but
it's one thing to know, and it's another thing to see.
And that's the thing. It's sad. It's like I said before. It's sad all around. It's sad for the woman, or the man that's selling their body. It's sad for the person that's paying for it. Because obviously they're looking for something that they're not getting, whether it be love or physical, or gratification or whatever it is.
I mean, that's why they're paying. They're getting a girlfriend experience,
or maybe they're paying for love.
The girlfriend experience.
Exactly. The GFE. Maybe they're just paying for a hug.
Yeah.
She was also doing that too. She was also just she was going out.
Like talking.
Just talking, being a therapist, sometimes,
a lonely guy.
And that person would never be ripped off.
Sure.
That person would never be a part of the scam.
Yeah,
she had regulars, When I came out of Rikers, when they bailed me out, the house, it was just a different vibe in the house. There was another girl in the house. Her name was Michelle.
You'd mentioned that.
I mentioned that. Never saw her. Never seen her again after.
Yeah.
After I went to rehab and stuff. Do you
even know where she came from? Like how she got there?
Apparently, Amber worked a party, and she worked the same party. Michelle was a Puerto Rican chick from the Bronx, and she ended up staying in the house for a little bit, and ultimately I don't know where she went. I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
She's a sweet person. She's a cool girl. Awesome at video games. She's smoking me on Halo all the time, bro. Yeah, destroying me.
You guys had a system in the house?
Dave did.
Gotcha.
Dave had everything.
Yeah.
Dave was a gadget guy. Dave's smart, man. Dave's a go-getter, man. He had the coolest stuff,
Yeah.
night vision goggles,
Oh, cool.
yeah, all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
like compound bows and stuff. Dave was Dave's
Yeah.
cool, man. He had the best consoles, huge, big flat
Which is
screen
rare,
TVs.
just generally speaking, but
You know-
especially when someone's using,
And-
they have all that.
No, but he wasn't using. He didn't use until we started using, and then he started using.
Got it. Okay.
We introduced him to this.
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
sure Dave is, maybe messed around here and there, but Dave was not getting high.
Got it. That makes sense.
Ultimately, Dave started using
Because he was around it.
because he was around it,
Mm.
and I'm sorry for
Yeah.
that. This is stuff I have to deal with. These are my inner demons.
You guys still talk.
I talk to Dave regularly.
Yeah.
I love Dave, man. He's
Yeah.
always just a dear friend of mine. We share a unique bond. We have different views on things. Our memory, our memory is a little different.
There was a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
It
It was a long time ago. Listen. I wish I could give you exact time and dates, but I could only give the best of my knowledge.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the best I can.
I really
everybody.
want to thank you for, meeting with me.
You don't have to thank me, Zach, man.
I just know you got a lot going on.
but
I know you also wanted to clear up some of the misconceptions out there too, right?
Look, I want to clear misconceptions. I also, I wanted to, I want to keep her alive, man.
I think you've done a good job. A lot of people in that first interview talked about like they didn't know her, but they felt like they knew her through you. They saw her the way you saw her.
I tried, man. I wish I had more time with her. I wish I knew her longer.
Yeah.
I had months with her, and there were.
And you should have had a long time with her. You should still be
She
talking to her like this.
she should be right here talking with us right now. This should not be a conversation right now.
Correct.
This should never be a conversation, man. But like I always say, it's not just about Amber. Look at all the others, all these other families, man. These people's lives are ruined.
And you keep seeing a common theme with them too. It's the way that the police treated it back then, at least. They just didn't care. It's
Sex
incredible.
worker, prostitute, escort, this,
Every
that.
last one of them. Like even Karen Vagata, most recently, the father was begging for them to look, and maybe if they looked into it, it wouldn't be 27 years later that we were finally getting a name.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I mean, thank God for Rodney Harrison and Ray Tierney taking this seriously.
I'm forever
it should have
grateful.
happened from day one.
I'm forever grateful for this administration. This Suffolk
And that's
County.
a turn from you. You didn't even like SCPD when we first met.
Well, we were dealing with Burke. We were dealing with Spoda.
Yeah.
But I am forever back in the blue of the Suffolk County Police Department.
Yeah.
That district attorney gave his word, and he kept it.
Do you think that you would want to, go to the court case and do like an impact statement when it comes time?
Most certainly. I have words for this demon. I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. But I have words for him.
Yeah.
I definitely I need to be able to speak I need to be able
and I'm sure
to give that impact
I'm sure
statement.
they're going to want you there.
I
That's
hope
why it's important that you're doing what you're doing right now.
I hope they will allow me to,
Yeah.
because this has impacted me
Big time.
big time.
Yeah.
It really has. If I could go back in time, man,
You can't change the past, but what you can do right now, that's what you should focus on.
look, I just want everybody to be safe. I want people to be happy. I want people to have fulfilling lives. I want people to look back on their lives and be happy with what they've put on this earth. I don't want this about me. This is not about me. I've made my own decisions on this planet. And I've paid my dues. The crimes I've committed, I've always taken the plea bargains because I committed the crime. It's not that I'm going to go to trial because I'm going to get off of this.
Yeah.
It's because I'm owing up to my responsibilities of my actions. I take responsibility for my actions, man.
And you're a good person. You are.
Look, I'm not a saint, but
Nobody is.
but there's nothing I won't do for somebody, man. Somebody needs something from me, I'm here for you. Everybody, all of you, everybody I'm talking to right now, if I can do anything for any of you, I will do it. You have questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer them. You talk disrespectfully about any of these victims, I'm just going to shut it down immediately. It will not be tolerated.
It won't. And there's a lot of people. You have a lot of people in your corner.
You refer to me or Dave as a pimp or somebody who promoted prostitution, it will be shut down immediately because it is not the truth. It is not how it happened. I will only give the real facts of this story. And that's it.
I think we covered a lot of stuff. Is there anything you want to add?
Zach, man, I want to give you credit.
I'm fine.
Nah, man, you're not fine, man. You're remarkable, bro. I fucking love you, man.
My brother, man. Serious.
You really do, bro. I love you, dude. You're truly, you know.
I'm glad that we're seeing this in our lifetime.
Me too, you know. I'm glad we crossed paths, man.
Yeah.
I don't, you know. You're the only person I've spoken to you. I talked to one other person that really did me dirty. Colker.
Yep.
You know, and I just thank you for being genuine, man. You know,
I always keep
your
word.
intentions have been 100% pure, and I'm very grateful for your friendship.
And that's what I was gonna say. I think we're gonna be friends long after.
I'll
this.
know you my whole life. Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.